what's the biggest advantage of being Shatrughan Sinha's son?
But advantages, sure. I mean, you're getting exposed to a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
An individual like him who has succeeded in not just films but also politics. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, it's like having possibly a really great library at home. But I mean, I'm sure you've talked to him at times. He's a very philosophical person.
Yes.
His lessons are very deep.
Yeah, I have seen him when I was this much also.
Right. So he's very philosophical, very deep.
I've interviewed Sonakshi from the start of her career.
Yeah.
She's always said one thing, that I watch the films that I do, commercial, masala, mainstream, and she watches that. What do you watch?
I watch all genres because I'm constantly learning. Right, so some months I'll watch maybe science fiction. Kabhi मैं फिर Hindi classics में चला जाऊँगा, which my dad has told me, like Mughal-e-Azam देख लो, because that's one of his favorite films. I think he's seen it like 50, 60 odd times. So I'll watch those. कभी फिर मैं Hollywood action में चले जाऊँगा कि what was working in that era.
Is there a quality in three of you that's similar to your dad, because you're in the same field now? What do you think is the common string? Is there or different things in all of you?
There is that whole dedication or perseverance that we don't give up.
Yeah.
And hard work is important, because I think he's told us, and I think it's a life lesson for us, that when he came here, he didn't have any connections, contacts, backing.
And all three of you were kids. Who was the obvious one? This out of three of us will go in the movies.
Some degree, Love and Sonakshi kind of, at least being in front.
Right.
I'm saying. I think I was always a little more technical that way, more into say hobbies like photography or like writing also, things like that. So I think they both were more outwards.
When this comes in the theaters, what will your Thursday night be like? Will you sleep aram se? Are you that person? Or will you wake up and read all the reviews, box office? Will you track all that?
I will sleep well, I think, because I know I've done my job with integrity and honesty.
That's amazing.
I haven't left anything. Hi, my name is Kussh Sinha and you're watching this interview on Bollywood Hungama.
Kush, welcome to Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you for having me, Rohit.
It's been long. Like, I've been waiting to do this. I interviewed Sonakshi for your film, and I've been waiting to talk to you. And I told her also that, someday, very soon, we'll be talking. And in a way, things work out. The film got delayed, and here we are.
Yeah.
So time mil gaya aapke saath.
Ji.
Tell me, I'm going to take you back. Obviously, there's so much interest in how you reached here. When all three of you were kids, who was the obvious one? This out of three of us will go in the movies. Was there any of you who had done?
I think to some degree, Love and Sonakshi kind of, at least being in front.
Right.
I'm saying. I think I was always a little more technical that way, more into say hobbies like photography or like writing also, things like that. So I think they both were more outwards.
Wow.
I was more, So I think it was pretty clear that they will try. Although Sonakshi, I will say, I don't think she had any, and I think she said this herself, she had no inclination of becoming an actor or a star. I think with her it just happened unexpectedly.
Wow.
I think she was walking at a fashion show and Arbaz Bhai saw, and she was walking for her friends.
Okay.
So she had been an usher for those same designers.
Oh my God.
And then they asked her, you're looking, then obviously she was a little, at that point a little overweight maybe, and then she lost a little weight. So I think they were friends. So like, why don't you walk with her? It'll be nice, body positivity.
Correct.
It's a great sort of message to send out. So I think she said, okay, fine, I'll walk for you. And then she walked.
Wow.
And then I think Arbaz Bhai saw her in the crowd and he's like, why don't we try her for the bump?
Wow.
So it was sort of a twist of fate.
It was a huge break, no? It's not like just another.
It's like those stories you used to in the 60s na, koi garden ke paas chal raha tha aur kisne bola, "Arey, ab acting bhi nahi karti."
Yeah, it's exactly like that.
But in her case, it was exactly that, and it worked out.
Right. So what kind of photography did you do? If you you had interest in anything?
Street photography.
Street photography.
I think for me it was very important to go out in the world. Again, as a filmmaker, even as a person, to get out of your comfort zone, to see how other people live and thrive and grow. I think that's why I gravitated towards street photography.
Wow. Yeah. That's so interesting. And when the talk started that when talks for this particular film started, what was the first germ कि supernatural बनाना है, comedy बनाओ, family entertainment, ऐसे कभी discussion हुआ था?
नहीं, ऐसे मैंने सोचा भी नहीं था. See, I'm very instinctive. मैं जब स्क्रिप्ट पढ़ता हूँ ना, मैं उसके जॉनर के बारे में नहीं सोच रहा. मैं सोच रहा हूँ कि will this story be good?
Okay.
अगर मैं व्यूअर हूँ और अगर मुझे कोई बोले कि ये फिल्म देख लो, इसकी कहानी ये है, will I like it or not? I think that's an important way to look at a script. I think like how Sanjay Dutt sir also said yesterday, अभी सिर्फ प्रोजेक्ट्स बन रहे हैं, फिल्में नहीं बन रही,
which is very sad,
right? So I think it's important you're honest about that. That look, there are requirements for commercial garnishing or commercial layering. That you know who will be the actor, or whether there'll be songs, or what is the screenplay like, what is the duration like, all of that. But I think at first you have to be honest that whether it's a good story.
Story, right?
Yeah. So for me, Nikita Roy, although we rewrote it, and I'm very candid about this, the original was by Pawan Kripalani.
Yeah.
But we completely like rewrote it. Me, Ankur Takrani, Neil Mohanty, and this was how we.
What needed rewriting according to you? Why like what made you all rewrite?
Just it was a longer script. It was 120 pages. There were certain elements of it that I didn't agree with personally or philosophically. As you know, कि मुझे ये scenes को रखना नहीं है because मुझे ये scenes समझ नहीं आ रहे क्यों है यहाँ पे. Certain scenes I felt that was little sensitive also, might offend some people. Which were not required. Really.
Okay, not required.
Yeah, so that's why we rewrote it, but also because we knew that we had to put our own sort of mark on it.
Of course,
you know?
right. Yeah. No, but yeah, this is when the script came. But before that, were you thinking that should I make any other genre, or this was your space?
I had suggested a couple of scripts to her. I had met other actors also for various projects, but somehow they didn't fall into place.
Okay.
For various reasons. Maybe the script was not good. Maybe the actors didn't like it. But there were multiple attempts. But then this one, I think, finally she and me aligned on.
Right.
She also liked the core of the character.
Okay.
It's a strong, I mean, there's this whole movement where you say strong female character, but I say it's a strong human character.
Ah, nice.
Because what she goes through, I mean, anybody can go through that.
Okay.
You know, the highs and lows of her journey as a character. I think that's what appealed to Sonakshi.
Right. You know, I've interviewed Sonakshi from the start of her career. Yeah. She's always said one thing, that I watch the films that I do, commercial, masala, mainstream, and she watches that. What do you watch particularly? What do you enjoy when you are watching?
I think I watch all genres because I'm constantly learning. Right, so some months I'll watch maybe science fiction. कभी-कभी मैं फिर Hindi classics में चला जाऊँगा, which my dad has told me like Mughal Azam देख लो, because that's one of his favorite films. I think he's seen it like 50, 60 odd times. So I'll watch those. कभी-कभी फिर मैं Hollywood action में चले जाऊँगा कि what was working in that era. You know, so because you're constantly learning.
Correct.
But I'm very clear that I want to be original.
Right.
I don't want to copy. I think a lot of our makers, unfortunately, end up just copying. And that's another thing I do actually. When I start working on a script, then I go into a vacuum. And I stop watching.
Right.
Because I don't want to be absorbing or grabbing from someone else's hard work.
Right. When you're watching, you're also educating yourself with every film. But do you then enjoy the story because you're also watching shots, how this was taken technically? How do you differentiate that?
That's why you watch it multiple times. No?
You watch it multiple times.
Yeah. Like saying if you're a chef, the first time you taste the dish, you're checking its flavor.
Correct. Then again,
again you kind of go back to it and say, "Acha, ab kya seekh sakte hain?" So what was lacking this time? What could be added? But it does get a little technical. You're right. There'll always be a gap between the viewer and the maker.
Yeah, true. You know, is there a quality in three of you that's similar to your dad because you're in the same field now?
Yeah.
What do you take? What do you think is the common string? Is there or different things in all of you?
I think there is that whole dedication or perseverance that we don't give up.
Yeah.
You know, and hard work is important because I think he's told us, and I think it's a life lesson for us, that when he came here, he didn't have any connections, contacts, backing, sort of relationships or anything like that. So I think he's told us that eventually your hard work will take you forward, right? I mean, how much can you push something that won't work, in the sense that they're not willing to work also.
This is something that even I see in Sonakshi also. When then the narration part comes, discussion comes. How does the brother sister switch off and become professionals, and how do you all do that? Because you're literally here, and there has to be a part of the day where you all seriously sit and discuss.
I think those times are very different from brother sister times. When I'm discussing the script with her, I'm telling her this is what it is. We're very clear that we're discussing it professionally. She'll have her feedback. If it makes complete sense to me, I'll agree with it right then. If I'm saying no, there's a reason why this is like this, and eventually it transforms into a different type of character, transform into different type. Those type of things, then it's a healthy debate.
Right.
There's no arguments as such. There's no
you all are too mature people.
No, but I think also her as an actor, I give her all credit for this. I don't think she's ever been one of those power players.
Yeah, true.
She's always been a collaborator and a
Yeah.
thorough professional,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
after having been in the limelight for so long, and having achieved what she's achieved.
Yeah. On a set, is there like there must be some days where are like two different things. You'll say you'll want two different things. Then what happens?
I mean, I can only repeat this to
Ice cream story, which I know.
That's the truth. That is the
You'll
truth.
just remove the ice cream.
But yeah, no, it had to be removed because the sun was like at that point in London, which they claim is a heat wave, 26 degrees.
That's true. For them, 32 degrees is like
Yeah,
they're
so
going
it
crazy.
was a 26 degrees heat wave going on.
Yeah.
And, we were having that, कि नहीं, ice cream जाएगा तो फिर forget the shot and all. I said, नहीं, I'm not keeping the ice cream. But then the ice cream melted, so that's the only, I think, disagreement we had. Other than that, there were no other. There was one scene she asked me, and fair enough, because we had a long day of shoot, and I'd take a sort of scene between her and Suhail's character, Jolly, and they were having a conversation. And she's like, "Why do we need this scene?" I said, "I am not 100% sure if we need it. But if I go back to Bombay,
and
then I don't have it with me, then can I ask you to come back with me to London to shoot this? I can't." So I said, I understand it's been a long day, but just, if we can, let's just do it. So again, very cooperative. She understood, but I think that was the only point of small friction, which again I can say, लंबा दिन था तो हो सकता है, किसी को भी हो सकता है.
You'll move on to working with other actors. There are all kinds of discussions going on in the industry of work-life balance, 8-hour shift.
Yeah.
Do you think in this industry, particularly now that you've made a film, it's possible to have that?
I think it's possible if there's clarity and consensus from before.
In advance,
and because, like I say, look, it's fine for an actor to say, I want it to be this way, but I'm going to be very blunt and say a film is a collective effort.
Yeah.
It has many stakeholders, right? Actor, producer, director, production designer, director of photography, location manager, production manager, cost of that particular location on that particular day, cost of the entire crew being present on that particular day. So in my opinion, I think if one entity or individual says, it should only be this way, I think fair or unfair, I think that depends on the situation at that point. One has to keep everyone in mind. Right? Whatever director says, अच्छा आज मुझे 2 घंटे के लिए सोने जाना है, आप लोग आराम कीजिए अभी, right? Mood पे. I don't think that's fair. I think we've all got a chance to work in one of the greatest, but also one of the most difficult industries in a way. True. We should value that.
You know, the stories that you hear from your dad, you know, at that time films were made very differently. पूरा literally भरोसे पे कि come, you do my film.
Handshakes पे हो जाता था.
Yeah, handshake पे हो जाता था.
कि sir करते हैं, हाँ करते हैं. Then it's like 6 months later you're on set, no contract, nothing.
But do you think those were easier times or those were tougher times?
I think they were simpler times.
Simpler times.
Yeah. I don't know about tougher. I think in any environment, if there's a high trust factor, I think that's a great time to be alive in.
Yeah.
Right?
They were game
people
changers.
were true to their word.
Yeah.
Maybe now things have changed, so people are more about paperwork and contract, which is also fine. It's just
good.
a change of time.
At least there's bound script now. Everything. Those are good things.
Yeah, it's not like some guy writing on the
set. Yeah, we've all heard those stories. But is there? You know,
but I did cut one part of the script on set.
On the set.
And that's a fun story. So I'm sitting at lunch. So we had Abhinav Kashyap sir as he's been my teacher also, one of my teachers. Right? You know, I worked with him on Beshara.
Correct.
So we had him on set while we were working as a creative consultant also.
Oh, nice.
So we were in lunch. So I'm like, sir, ये scene पढ़ दीजिए. So he's like, हाँ, ठीक है. I said, ठीक है. I said, problem क्या है इसमें? यार बीच का हिस्सा बहुत boring है. ऐसे सर आपने मुझे 3 दिन पहले क्यों नहीं बताया? आधे घंटे बाद जब हम शूट करने जा रहे हैं. So then thankfully, because I've worked with these people also to some extent, I do understand editing. I quickly identified what I could cut in the lunch break, and it was a 5-page scene. So I cut 2 pages out of that in lunch.
Wow, that's actually saves a lot of time.
Yeah, but that's because he told me it was boring, and I was like, yeah, why didn't you tell me this like 3 days?
You know, assisting him also must have been like a great experience. What is it that you pick from someone like him on a set when he's directing?
Look, he's a great human being. I understand people have viewpoints about him, and at times he can be very blunt. But at heart, he was very kind to his team. Which I appreciate. You know, there's one thing, you're making a movie, there's a lot of pressure. We understand that, but you can treat your people with dignity and respect.
Of course,
and I think that's also why possibly Ranbir, Rishiji and Neetuji came on board. You know, they're coming from that background where film units were families, people were treated well. And also, yes, sure, he had done Dabang, he had that aura with him, and he's still a good director, I believe, whatever people may say. I still believe he's got a great story sense, great script sense, but I think that's what I learned from him.
Right. But now times have again changed very like fast and for the better in many ways. There were in the early 2000s also that there would be directors who would be screaming and shouting, and that just creates so much panic for the actor performing. Abhi wo kam hota hai aapke?
I still think there are people
Okay.
who do that even now. I still think there are people who are extremely abrasive to talents and technicians. See, I can understand. On a bad day, it can happen.
Okay.
Can't happen
Regularly,
every second day or every
yeah.
third day. I'm not justifying even that one bad day, but I'm saying we're all human.
Yeah.
Kabhi kabhi it can happen. But there are people who are getting away with it even now.
True.
I don't know if things will change. What I can try to do is on an individual level, not be like them.
Yeah.
Because at least what I've seen with my limited time in the industry, it catches up with you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
You're
right.
at a high, you're at a high.
100%.
When things change, that time gets very lonely.
Right.
Treat people with respect and dignity.
True.
Yeah.
It comes both ways. What's the biggest advantage of being Shatrughan Sinha's son? Like you feel personally?
Do you think I have an advantage?
No, you learn so much. You learn so much. You see him, you learn from him. Those are the advantages I would say.
Right.
Yeah.
But professionally, do you think I've had an advantage? I'm just asking very
I don't know. Maybe I don't know what advantage you took or didn't take. I don't know. But yeah, if you're talking about you got an easy entry in the industry, I don't think so. You're right.
Thank you. I mean, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah. So I was very clear this will happen on my own because our industry is very different. Here, people don't just they get breaks because it might be somebody's son, but they don't just get to carry that forward unless they're delivering, right? So I realized that very early on. So then I realized I have to work, I have to learn to be able to do something out. That's why I went and worked where I could, did the jobs that I could to kind of gain that knowledge. So finally I do a film. Yeah. But advantages, sure. I mean, you're getting exposed to a wealth of knowledge. An individual like him who has succeeded in not just films but also politics. Right? I mean, sure. It's like having possibly a really great library at home. But I mean, I'm sure you've talked to him at times. He's a very philosophical person. His lessons are very deep.
Yeah, I have seen him when I was this much also.
Right. So he's very philosophical, very deep. So it takes a while to understand what he's saying. You really have to go deep to understand. That's been an advantage.
I was on one of his sets when I was this young, and he was like, "Ye kiska bacha hai?" He lifted me and gave it to my mom. Okay. So I remember. Is there an incident what he would tell you, like what we were discussing? There was a simpler times. Is there a story that stays with you that he's told you from a set while signing a film, while doing a film?
I think the Kalapatta story is pretty iconic.
You want to share?
He said it publicly also. I think there was that famous fight scene between Amit Uncle and him, right? And apparently, I think they changed the script at some point where earlier on the script he was supposed to, it's a stalemate, which is what happens in the film also. You see, Shashi sir comes in and stops both of them from continuing their fight. But I think the original was that they both wear each other out or something like that. It's an equal fight. And then on set, somebody said, "Acha, now he'll hit you and you'll fall," and that's where the fight ends. So my dad was like, "Script mein kuch aur likha tha. Ye to main hone nahi dunga." So then I think he stopped the shooting for 6 hours or something. So that's a pretty gutsy move.
Yeah, that is.
I mean, you're working in Yash Raj film. You have Yash sir as the director. You have Amit uncle as your co-star, and you're still holding your ground. So I think that's an important lesson, that you have to hold your ground when you have to.
True. He's one of the few successful people who have been successful in movies and in politics. That's quite amazing. Something that says something about the person he is. Doesn't give up easily.
Yeah, he doesn't give up easily. I think all credit due to him and his his elders who guided him. Like he always says LK Advani ji and Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji. But I think all credit to him. He's been the first actor from any Indian industry to be a cabinet minister. And that's one for the record books. You can't change that, right?
None of you all were interested in joining that part?
See, we're not professional career politicians. I think even there's a different sort of mindset and different sort of upbringing you have to have for that.
True.
I mean, I think we've always been told we have to find our own way. So we're doing that.
Like you said, you didn't have any advantage that way. So in fact, your film will also be watched like an individual film, good or bad.
Sure.
Nervous, excited? What?
I'm grateful and I'm excited. I'm pretty confident that the film has come out well. I can't control the outcome. That those variables are out of my hand, as any filmmaker knows. But I'm confident that the film has turned out well. It's an engaging story. It's a unique story, and even for Sonakshi, I think this will be one of her best films with regards to performance.
Performance.
Paresh is brilliant in it. Again, doing a character that he hasn't done ever, and in a very unique way. Even Arjun sir has done very well in this film.
Okay.
Suhail also, I mean, people consider him relatively new, but I genuinely think he's a very good actor and a talent to watch for. Kalli Roy, so a lot of good actors, Supreet Bedi, Prakhar Saxena, so a lot of good actors, good performances, good stories. So I think people will enjoy watching it.
Right. Lastly, are you someone who like see what's happening at the theaters? Nobody knows kya logon ko dekhna hai, kya nahi dekhna hai. Are you someone who gets nervous and worked up when your film is pushed by a week or something? Do you get worked up कि क्या हो रहा है?
नहीं, worked up होते जब हमें समझ नहीं आता क्यों हो रहा है ना.
Okay.
First of all, though, like I said, it's not in my hands.
Yeah, you're the
If the producer and distributor have a conversation and say, look, we think this will be beneficial for the film, why would I disagree there, right? And second, again, this is not in my hands. I would obviously want our film to be seen by as many people as possible.
Of course,
but these are industry dynamics or ecosystem variables, not in my control.
Correct.
So how much can I fret over?
Right. Lastly, so when this comes in the theaters, what will your Thursday night be like? Will you sleep aram se? Are you that person? Or will you wake up and read all the reviews, box office? Will you track all that?
I mean, as a collaborator, I will track to some degree.
Okay.
Because, a producer is also there and they're also friends. So I would want the best for them. But I will sleep well, I think, because I know I've done my job with integrity and honesty.
That's amazing.
I haven't left anything. I haven't left anything, basically, So I'm good with that. And I've done what I had to do. Even for me, I mean, so I'm very grateful that Sonakshi chose this film.
Yeah.
Obviously, it had merit, but she could have said no also. But at the same time, in my mind, I was very clear that when I make a film with Sonakshi, I'll make sure it's one of her best performances.
Nice. That's really important. Yeah.
I'm happy. She's done that. Paresh is great. Like I said, the story is also crisp. And it's a unique genre also, mystery thriller.
Yeah.
You don't have that too often here.
True. Going forward, will you stick to a genre if this does very well for you, or will you like to experiment with other genres?
No. I told you, my process is very simple. If the script speaks to me, that's what I'll go with. It's not about sticking to a particular genre. I do understand the genre, but doesn't mean I have to keep making this space on it. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. Loved the honesty and and love the clarity. So you're so clear about what you have done, and your job is done. Now going forward is up to the audience. So best of luck. I really hope Kussh this does well for you.
No, thank you so much for your time, and I'm glad we caught up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Kussh Sinha, and you're watching this interview on Bollywood Hungama.